Why Austin Reaves is better than you may think. Over this previous season, Austin Reaves did a phenomenal job to make a real name for himself during this previous season's playoffs. And during that playoff run, Austin wasn't only putting up great individual numbers, but he's also hitting shots when they mattered the most in the clutch time. And due to that great playoff performance, Austin was rewarded with a pretty sizable contract from the Los Angeles Lakers. And going into this next season, I would say the majority of the fans are either in one of these two camps. They either really like Austin Reaves' game, or B, they thought he had a pretty lucky season and he's not going to be able to replicate it going forward. But I'm here to tell you that Austin Reaves is not only going to be as good as he was last season, but he's even going to get better with time. But quickly, before we get the video started, for those of you who may not know, I'm Juicy Sports. I make opinionated NBA content, and if you guys enjoy videos similar to this, hit that subscribe button, that like button, and that post notification bell. I also want to quickly mention that I recently started up an MMA channel, and if you guys are interested in that, the link will be in the description. But anyways, let's get into it. Austin Reaves was technically drafted with the number 42 overall selection during the 2021 NBA draft by the Detroit Pistons, but Austin decided himself not to ultimately sign that contract with the Pistons and ended up making it to the NBA as an undrafted free agent. And during that same 2021 year, Austin signed a contract with the Los Angeles Lakers. And in his first initial rookie season, he was playing decently well, I would say. He was showing some things out there, averaging 7 points per game on 3.2 boards and also adding 1.8 assists. And although in his rookie season he wasn't necessarily putting up incredible statistics, he at the same time was doing a really nice job at putting up some nice statistics in spurts. And really what he was showing more so than anything else is what he could potentially be in the long-term future. And after his rookie season, although the numbers don't necessarily jump out at you, there were a ton of fans that were really excited to see what he could potentially do in the long-term future due to those stints that he was showing in certain games. And after his rookie season, going into his second year, Austin definitely had the best season of his career, jumping up his numbers across the board, averaging 13 points per game on 3 boards and also adding 3.4 assists. And during that season, Austin was just doing a much better job of showing consistency. But everything really changed for Austin Reaves during that year's playoffs. During that year's playoffs, the Lakers were playing a lot better than people anticipated, and a huge reason for why that was due to the phenomenal play of Austin Reaves. Austin was doing a really nice job at hitting that catch and shoot 3-point jump shot, which is something that's extremely important and effective when you're playing alongside a guy in LeBron James that tends to get a lot of wide open catch and shoot 3-point looks to everybody on his team. But also Austin was doing a really nice job at creating for himself as well. From that 3-point range, Austin was doing a really nice job at hitting that crossover into a 3-point jump shot, sidestep, or step back as well. But once moving to the mid-range area, Austin was also very efficient and effective with that post turnaround fadeaway, one dribble pull up, catch and shoot mid-range jump shot, sidestep or step back. Basically from that mid-range area, Austin once again was just able to do everything out there. But moving on to his driving and finishing ability, Austin was also doing a great job at this as well. As once he drove all the way to the basket, Austin had a ton of power and athleticism to dunk over players at times and get and-one finishes, but he also had a really nice ability to be crafty out there and finish either with his left or right hand. And even besides those abilities that I mentioned, Austin also had a pretty nice floater within his game, and it was just very clear from top to bottom, Austin was just a scorer out there, and he had the capability to do everything on any level. But probably the most important part about this is not only was Austin extremely talented and clearly had the capability to put up big numbers, but also in the playoffs and especially in the clutch time, Austin was playing his best basketball. And really what that showed to Lakers fans at the time, but just to fans in general, was that Austin Reaves had that clutch gene, which is something that not everybody has out there. But if you have that clutch gene within your DNA, it just makes you that much more valuable to teams, because not only are you going to put up great numbers during the regular season, but when it matters most, and of course it always matters most during the playoffs, you're going to play your best basketball and you're really going to do your best job at helping your team win in all case scenarios, which is something that's extremely attractive to really every team in the NBA, and a huge reason for why Austin Reaves was rewarded with a pretty sizable contract was due to his phenomenal playoff performance for the Lakers. And it wasn't only due to his great regular season performance, of course. And a question that some of you may be having at this point is, although Austin did play really well during the regular season last year, and he did play phenomenally during last year's playoffs, why do I think there's a real chance that he's only going to get better with time? Well, a lot of times when you look at these guys who are showing a ton of promise early on into their NBA careers, more often than not, these players tend to just only improve as time does progress. But especially when you look at a guy in Austin Reaves, who in my opinion has shown a real ability to be a great player in the NBA in the long-term future, I think a guy like this is only going to get significantly better as the years do progress. And I think that based upon what he was showing early on in his career so far, but also due to the fact that he's playing alongside with a guy in LeBron James, and he has a basically perfect role model to learn from what LeBron does off the court, what he does on the court, what he does to study the game. All these different things are extremely valuable and important to any player in the NBA, but especially to a relatively younger player in the league. Of course, having a guy like that on your roster is only going to make you better. But even something to prove my thesis is some people that are negative on Austin Reaves going forward in this long-term future point to his success last season being based upon the fact that he was playing with LeBron James. And although, as I mentioned before in the video, the fact that Austin Reaves is playing with LeBron is a huge benefit to him because you can learn from him off the court, but also on the court he's going to get him open looks. But even though that is true, it doesn't necessarily mean Austin isn't only going to get naturally better as time does progress. Because when you look at how he's playing for Team USA this season, Austin is actually doing a really nice job, putting up really nice numbers, playing very well during the regular parts of the game, but also playing maybe even a little bit better in clutch time situations as well. So really the point that I'm trying to make is, although it's great that Austin Reaves is playing with LeBron James, either way he was going to be a really good player out there, and in my opinion I think he has a chance to be a much better player than he is at currently at this moment. But a question that some of you may be having at this point is, what are my expectations for Austin Reaves in the long-term future? Well, at this point I think it's pretty clear that Austin Reaves has proven himself to either be a really good player coming off the bench, like a sixth man type guy, or he even has the capability to be a really good starter out there as well. But in the long-term future, I think Austin is only going to get better, as I mentioned, and I think eventually the eventual goal for him would be to be a player that's either a sixth man of the year type candidate or be very close to an all-star type guy. I don't necessarily think he's going to get that much better than that, but a player of the caliber that I just mentioned is a guy who's going to make a ton of money in the NBA, and it's a guy who's extremely valuable. When you have a player on your team either starting or coming off the bench that has the capability to put up 20 plus points on any given night, of course that guy's going to be extremely valuable, and that's exactly where I see Austin Reaves' career going. But I guess only time will tell what does end up happening throughout the rest of Austin's career, but I will say I am extremely excited to see what happens. But anyways, let me know what you guys think in the comments. Do you think Austin Reaves has a chance to be a really great player one day, or do you not think so? But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and if you did enjoy, check one of these two videos popping up now, and until the next time, peace out guys.